Kristi Noem is not exactly a household name. She's the governor of South Dakota and a former unremarkable congresswoman for that state. But her name is now popping up for all the wrong reasons. 4 of South Dakota's federally recognized Native American tribes have barred Noem from their lands after she claimed, without evidence, that Mexican drug cartels had a foothold on their reservations and were committing murders there. She's grown very close to Donald Trump and even closer with some of his political allies, like Corey Lewandowski. Noem is on the short list to become the new Hang Mike Pence, a.k.a. Trump's running mate, and she's hawking a new book to help her sell herself to the country. The Guardian got a hold of that book and found out that Noem is the proud killer of what she described as an untrainable puppy. Noem apparently thinks this story shows Americans that she's willing to do the tough things like killing puppies.
Any rational human being knows her actions are despicable. She's deplorable. She's Cruella De Vil from the Dakotas. That's who she is. These people believe in the ends justify the means. And it even goes as far as killing pet animals. I mean, think about that. It is, I'll lie if lying is going to achieve my goal. I'll obstruct our democracy. I'll, steal documents. I'll pay off porn stars. I'll do all of these things if it achieves a fundamental goal.
Both sides of the aisle do not agree on much right now, but they have been united in outrage over South Dakota's Governor Kristi Noem's confession that she shot her 14-month-old puppy dog dead because she couldn't train it. Give it back, bitch, give it back. Why are you gonna kill it?
I want justice for Cricket. It's terrible.
It's a terrible thing. And
that was the dog's name.
Cricket. Dog's name was Cricket. A sign of a sociopath is someone that kills animals. I'm not a clinician, but she killed her animal.
Before the general election officially kicks in, of course, Trump needs to pick a running mate because his last one, for some reason, just didn't hang in there. One person who clearly wants this gig desperately is South Dakota governor and woman who told her hairstylist, "Give me the whole cast of Friends." In her new book, Noem admitted to killing her dog. Now, I know that sounds terrible. Look, I know it sounds terrible, but it's much worse.
The South Dakota governor, Kristi Noem, defending herself after revealing in her upcoming memoir that she once killed a dog. Well, I don't think people will be fetching her book anytime soon.
I think the whole thing reeks of desperation. I think you have a woman here who desperately wants to be vice president and ultimately president. And so she says, I can be tough like a man. How can I be tough like a man? I can kill a puppy. But she also managed to unite the right and the left. Because America, if nothing else, we are dog lovers. Mm-hmm. And don't tell me you shot a pup because it wasn't used to hunting. Maybe you're not a good teacher.
I can only imagine Kristi Noem with the dog trainer. So, Governor, we've evaluated Cricket, and we think we should kill her. No, I was thinking a special collar that would kill her slowly. I swear, this is all from her book. Cricket was, quote, the picture of pure joy, adding, I hated that dog. Governor Noem, if you don't like untrainable animals that wolf down chicken, I have bad news about your party's nominee.
In an excerpt from the book obtained by The Guardian, Noem described the puppy as untrainable, dangerous to anyone she came in contact with, and less than worthless as a hunting dog.
It's horrible enough to kill a dog, but even crazier to brag about it. That's a level of psycho I didn't even know existed. These stories tell us a lot about Kristi Noem, but they also say a lot about Donald Trump. She wants to be his VP and thought both of those things were positives, that when her name came up, Trump would say, nice teeth, kills dogs, a lot to like. A lot to like.
Noem also detailed killing a goat she called nasty and mean. Reaction has been swift from both sides of the aisle. Conservative media personality Laura Loomer saying she can't be VP now. You can't shoot your dog and then be VP. The Biden campaign posting these photos after the story emerged of the president and vice president with their dogs. And there was this moment at Saturday's White House Correspondents' Dinner.
I am killing this dinner harder than Kristi Noem kills the puppies.
But Noem responding yesterday saying, I followed the law and was being a responsible parent, dog owner and neighbor, adding that shooting her dog wasn't easy, but often the easy way isn't the right way.
So at that moment, Noem says, I realized I had to put her down. Noem, who also represented her state in Congress for 8 years, got her gun, then led Cricket to a gravel pit. It was not a pleasant job, she writes, but it had to be done. And after it was over, I realized another unpleasant job needed to be done. Incredibly, Noem's tale of slaughter is not finished. Noem decided to kill the unnamed goat the same way she had just killed Cricket the dog. But though she dragged him to a gravel pit, the goat jumped as she shot and therefore survived the wound. Noem says she went back to her truck, retrieved another shell, and hurried back to the gravel pit and put him down. At that point, Noem writes, she realized the construction crew had watched her kill both animals. The startled workers swiftly got back to work, she writes, only for a school bus to arrive and drop off Noem's children.
Kennedy looked around confused. Noem writes of her daughter who asked, hey, where's Cricket? This is not a joke. If you are thinking this is not true, Noem has now defended the scenes in the statements that she made in her own book, saying she loves animals, but tough decisions happen all the time on a farm. In fact, she says they recently put down 3 horses.
She went on an animal rampage killing spree, and it was all across the areas of zoology. She done killed 3 horses, a goat, and a dog. Like, this is troubling.
In front of children.
In front of children.
Her own daughter.
A 14, where's Cricket? What is it? God, that's like a Stephen King novel. What are we supposed to make of that?
Yeah.
It's insane.
So there's what she did, and people can take that for what it is, judge it as they want. Sure. And then there's the decision to write about it. Yeah. Not just write about it, but frankly to brag about it. And brag about it because you think you're going to get something out of it.
This is a terrible PR problem, but worse, there are 2 other sort of technical terms. It's psychopath. Nobody shoots a puppy dog like this.
But abusing dogs has a pretty poor track record of advancing political careers. I think she's out.
This is a self-induced.
Nobody would know this story except for her daughter.
But she thought that communicating this to the electorate in some way would help her.
Yeah.
So what if it does?
To talk about like rural life on the farm, makes them seem a little tough maybe. It's not a thing any of us need as voters. We don't need to hear about it. Save that trauma for your therapist, man.
Obviously, this is a public relations disaster, completely of her own making, but Team Noem is working hard to try to somehow give this a positive spin.
South Dakota isn't just the best place in America to do business. It's also the best place to live, work, and play. If you like what you see, if you value our approach to reducing government and increasing personal freedom, we'd love to have you come join us. Come grow your company, live your life, achieve your dreams. We can make it happen for you right now. Because South Dakota means business.
And that is the end of Kristi Noem. Even Trump won't pick a puppy killer, right? This is a bit of a blow because Trump would probably benefit from selecting a woman as his running mate, and she was probably his top choice. According to a new poll from the New York Times, only 31% of American females think Trump respects women, whereas 54% of men think he does. They think he respects women either a lot or some. Mr. Grab him by the has total respect for women.
And I am afraid that the rumor is that Trump will pick her as his vice president.
Well, you know what? I hope he does. I hope he does pick her as a vice president so that we can all show up and protest against her with our puppies. If she hates and shoots untrainable dogs who are dangerous to anyone they come in contact with, Trump better be careful. Yes?
Nothing. I got a cat.
Don't come for the cat.
And she better be careful because if a cat gets a hold of her.
Cats are different.
Cats don't play that. Cat is like, I'm sorry, are you pointing something at me? Girl, I'll rearrange everything on your body. You better get away from me. Cats don't play.